Living in the dimension of time is the same as being alive on this planet as far as apparent motion, that is, the lack of it, is concerned. Earth is flying through space at a terrific rate of speed, and it's also whirling around madly, but because we're on it, because we're a part of it, we feel no movement. The same is true for time. Because we are in it, we can't feel it move. When I'm alone, as I have been for the past few days, I'm acutely aware of time, of the passing of time. For time is constant motion, trailing out behind, ever plowing into the future. My body is a ship, a vessel, moving in time. When I'm with other people, I'm much less aware of this, or completely unaware of it. Now, I know how the devil got to be the devil, because he wasn't always the devil. One day, before he became the devil, he walked into a bakery, wanted to pick up a couple of donuts. He had just been driving by, and the smell of those fresh-baked donuts nailed him. He had to stop. It was crowded in the store, making him think more than ever, these must be some great donuts. He'd never been in there before, and he asked somebody what the deal is. How do you get served? You have to take a number, he's told. So he goes over and pulls off a tab of paper, and his number is written on it. It's 666. Okay, he thinks, and he wonders naturally what number they're on. He asks the person standing next to him if she knows what number they're on, and she says, 17. 17, says the guy, who is not the devil, not yet. He stands around waiting for a few minutes, and then he hears someone call out, 18. He figures it's going to be a while. I can go out, run an errand, come back and get my donuts. So he drives to a dry cleaner's, picks up a couple of his shirts, and drives back to the bakery. The smell hits him again. He's ready for those donuts. He goes in, waits a while, then hears them call 31. Wow, he says, checking his ticket again, 666. This is going to be a while. He's thinking he can leave, do something, and come back before they call his number a couple of hours. He's not going to stand there for 2 hours waiting for a donut, but he'd really like those donuts. So he leaves again and goes to a movie theater where they're showing a twin bill of Woody Allen movies, Manhattan and Annie Hall. And the admission is only $5. He ponies up, goes in, watches the two movies. They're not as good as he remembered, but that's okay. He goes back to the bakery, wham, that smell again. He goes in, waits for a while, then hears the cry go out, 49. 49? Really? They're moving at a snail's pace. He calculates that he's been gone for about 4 hours, and they served 18 people. He wonders how they stay in business. He does the math and figures that at that rate they won't get to him for a week and a half, more like 2 weeks, which is a hell of a long time to wait for a donut, even 2 donuts. But by this time, he's thinking, these must be the world's best donuts. The way he sees it, he's got 2 choices if he wants the donuts, which he does. He can go home, get a tent and camping gear, and set up outside the shop where he can monitor the numbers, or he can leave, go about his business, and come back in 2 weeks when they should be right around his number. It's riskier, but he selects the second option because, after all, donuts aside, he does have a life, and in 2 weeks he can accomplish quite a lot. So he leaves, and in 2 weeks he's an engineer. He oversees the construction of a bridge, and feeling pretty good about that, he returns to the donut shop. And that smell. Immediately he's totally focused on the donuts again. He hangs around for a while, glad that he kept his paper tab, so he can prove his place in line when they call his number. And he hears a man shout out, 668. What? He rushes up to the man and says, hold on, I've got 666. A woman comes up and says, I'm 668. I've got 666, the man shouts. Sorry, sir, the clerk tells him, you missed your turn. You're going to have to take another number. No, the man shouts, I'm not taking another number. Sir, you'll have to leave, the clerk says, and he turns to wait on the lady. Did you see the episode of The Sopranos where Christopher goes off on the guy who won't wait on him, won't sell him some donuts? That's what happens here, except there's no gunplay. The man gets angry, loses control, gives way to meanness and the evil we all have inside. He explodes. The number 666 is burned into his face. He turns red, and he grows horns and a tail, and he destroys that bakery. But not before he gets his 2 donuts, which prove to be every bit as good as he thought they'd be. So later, he regrets destroying the donut shop, which is what they mean when they say the devil lives in hell, and that hell was of his own making. That was in 1938 in Hoboken, New Jersey, or that's what I was told.